Ultimately, it will be up to this jury to decide. Is it fair what Palworld has done to us? Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection came out last week, and personally, I was just surprised by how much I truly enjoyed playing through those games, which historically have always been, to me at least, kind of intimidating and impenetrable. Now, a big reason for that is you can just set the difficulty to 0, so an absolute know-nothing like myself can just kind of have a good time punching and kicking around without, figuring out what any of this stuff means. But there's one thing that's really stuck to me all week that I can't stop thinking about, is how the excitement of these old Marvel vs. games has still been preserved this whole time. You come back to them and they still feel special. There's still a thrill to them. So the word of the day will be bodaciousness, meaning having the quality of being bodacious, as in outright or unmistakable, remarkable or noteworthy, sexy or voluptuous. These games are all over 20 years old, and yet something about them has not been surpassed. The bodaciousness remains. Everything feels big. Everything is big. Big guns, big boots, big butts, big biceps, big belts, big pecs, big boobies, big lasers, big losers, big bad guys, big bad thighs, big bots, big bones, big, big, big. You get what I'm saying. Now, part of that might just be, the time in the medium. Something like Silver Samurai's undulating chest here would probably look grotesque in 3D. But I think there's something that really works about this ultra exaggerated proportions and shouting and powers that really lends itself to making an appealing video game character to press buttons for. They come from a time where bodaciousness is a means to survival, because they're all arcade games originally, right? Obviously, you need the mechanical depth for grinders to keep putting quarters in week by week, day by day, but your primary market is the person who says, oh yeah, I'll give that a shot. I think that's how Raw Thrills stays in business. They're still making arcade games. Oh yeah, I'll give that a shot. I do want to be clear, though, that the message of this video is not that I think bodaciousness is dead in video games. Street Fighter 6 is bodacious. Astrobot is bodacious. And not all games have to be bodacious. Life is Strange is just doing its thing. It's cool. I'm simply trying to use that easily understood concept, and I'm trying not to use the word bodacious too much. I'm just trying to use that as the lens through which we can look at some objectively boring news from this week. First up, we got our first look at what the Switch 2 might look like. There it is. Obviously, Nintendo rumors are only true 20 to 80% of the time. However, there's a certain level of legitimacy here. It is likely this is what the Switch 2 looked like, at least in prototype form, 1 year ago. It's big, for sure. However, we can all agree, we can all see it lacks bodaciousness. Truthfully, I can't muster the YouTubey energy to even formulate a take on this. We're potentially looking at the next Nintendo console, and it's the least excited I've ever been for one. I mean, if the leaks looked like this, we'd have something to talk about. What does the coil do? So let's presume the actual hardware reveal is imminent. Let us presume that the Switch 2 looks like it does in those 3D renders. Here's my bodacious advice for Nintendo. Don't let 30 seconds go by without showing Donkey Kong. The original Switch reveal was mostly focused on its portable functionality, but remember, they did sneak in a couple of shots of the yet-to-be-announced Mario Odyssey. Wait, what was that? How mysterious. If the Switch 2 is really mostly just a bigger, high-resier Switch 1, Donkey Kong can save you. He is a bodacious original. He has survived the war zone of grabbing attention at arcades. He alone can make your hardware more exciting. At that point, who cares if you have no new features? The colors could come in ear swab gray and grandpa skin, and it'll still be the most exciting console launch in the last 10 years. Hoo-hee. Secondly, it seems that we've reached an insider consensus that there will be a PlayStation State of Play next week. And think about this. They've got a big new console coming out in November. Now would be a really nice time to make some big game announcements. Well, the ESRB just leaked the existence of Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. And on top of that, Jeff Grubb has said that the State of Play could feature another remaster less exciting than Horizon.
I don't know what it is, but when I was asking about this, there's some other remaster kind of the works that will be even less exciting, I've heard. And that was when it was like, and that's definitely not Bloodborne. So,
for God's sake.
And then VGC's Jordan Midler heavily implied that this less exciting remaster is 2019's epic zombie game, Days Gone. Look, again, I'm not showing up in this video to get upset about rumors that could possibly not be true, but I think between us we can agree they're not exciting rumors. And to be clear with you, I'm not against these games existing, despite their lack of excitement. It's fine. It's a solution to a problem Sony created with their giant teams. To keep them doing this remaster busy work at least keeps everybody employed. At least they can be fairly certain these projects will make their budgets back. But if you're going to put together a State of Play, it has to be understood. These games have no bodaciousness. You're going to likely find that most people would sort them in the nice or meh columns. Or heck, even the I really can't give a shit column. Now, obviously, this whole situation could be resolved with a simple Wolverine trailer and a simple Bloodborne trailer and a simple Ape Escape versus Killzone trailer, but I'm not sure any of that's going to happen. So, in the near term, Sony, here's my bodacious advice for your upcoming State of Play. Aggressive, in-your-face self-deprecation. When you're doing your next tease for, these types of trailers, you should just come out like, rockabye, baby, it's nap time. Here's some boring announcements. Days Gone is back. Look, company, I'm just trying to give you advice on how to help your likability right now, and I think that would really crush it. And that is delayed input. I'll be back next week, hopefully after a new State of Play. We'll see. Until then, thanks for watching. So I don't know how newsy this is, but PlayStation announced exclusive limited 30th anniversary editions of their hardware. So a fun thing about the video is who is co-hosting there. You see, when Jim Ryan left as CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, two heads grew. That'd be Hideaki Nishino as CEO of Platform Business Group and Hermen Hulst as CEO of Studio Business Group. By the way, look at Hermen's pristine collar there. You know that collar's never been folded once. We get to see Hermen all the time, but I think this might be Hideaki's first on-screen YouTube video on the PlayStation channel. I like it. He seems genuinely engaged. I like how he says, yeah.
Looks kind of familiar too.
Yeah. So
PS5 looks pretty familiar for me.
Yeah. So
Some of the things we're seeing.
Yeah. So
Updated.
Yeah. So
The texture on it.
Yeah.
The DualSense Edge is also available separately, like the DualSense and PlayStation Portal, correct?
that is correct.
But the strangest thing about this entire video to me, the strangest thing about, these things, these objects of desire that have yet to be priced, is the array of accessories that the PlayStation 5 comes with.
And it's also got these PlayStation-shaped cord ties. It's one of the few accessories that come with the bundle. Some stickers, we got a paper clip as well, but very cool to check out the bundle altogether.
Yeah, she said a paper clip. Now, before you write that off as stupid, before you write that off as unnecessary and something they shouldn't have bothered with, think about it though. Sony is offering you the chance to own the most valuable paperclip you've ever owned in your life. Think about what you could do with something like that. I mean it. Think about it. You could paperclip some important papers together. You could, it could be a bookmark. Honestly, I'm not sure it could be a bookmark. No, it's clearly not gonna work as a bookmark.